It's Sunday evening, it's 8 p.m. Dubai time, which is 5 p.m. in the UK, and it's time for Make It Happen. Come and join us while I teach you how to make the perfect, or if not perfect, the almost perfect success plan for your career, for your business, for your future. Welcome to Make It Happen TV, everyone. My name is Spencer Lodge. If you didn't know that already, then why are you tuning in? I just got back from my holiday, so please forgive the tan and the white lines and whatnot. I've been away with the kids, but I'm back in the fold. Let me get a tissue here and clear these glasses. Right, so tonight, what are we going to learn about? Okay, how to create a success plan. Now, that might not be something that a lot of you have thought about before, but to be honest with you, if you don't have one, then you've got a big chance of kind of fading off into the distance by not really achieving anything that you would like to achieve during the course of the year or the month, whichever you're focused on. So I want to go through a step-by-step guide that I want to give you. So if you want to make some notes, I'll give you a few seconds right now just to get a notepad and a pen. Okay, why don't you go ahead and turn your phones onto silent and make sure that you've got no distractions for the next 30 minutes while we go through this. And hopefully I can add some value and I can help inspire you, motivate you to get out there and do the things that you need to do so that you can have the success that you so richly deserve. And I know deep down inside you really want. Okay, so go and get that notepad now. I'll give you 15, 20 seconds to go and get that sorted out so that you're ready to go. If you're out there, I'd like you to do me a big favor. Say hi. Come on, say hi on the show. Let me know that you're out there. Also, on top of that, I'd like you very much to share the content that I'm producing. So with this video right now, if you press the share button, then you can share it to your audience. And if your audience get to see it, then maybe there's some value you can bring to other people that you know. So go ahead and press the share button. We love those thumbs up. We love those love heart things that seems to be done quite a lot. So please be encouraging. The more energy you give me, the more energy I can give you, the more soul I can give you, the more atmosphere, the more focus, the more pearls of wisdoms that come out. Because if you know me, which many of you really do, you'll know that I'm a thinking on my feet type of person. I'm a shoot from the hip type of guy. And if you give me stuff to work with and you give me feedback, I'll be honest and I'll answer that information for you straight away with knowledge that's embedded in my crazy brain that I've developed over the years. Okay, who's out there? Let's say hello to some people. I'm waiting for my computer from Amma. Right, let's go through this and make sure we get it right. So, if you're out there, come and say hello. How you doing? Okay, if you're out there, I want to know what questions you've got about a success plan. So think about your situation. Think about where you are now. So where you are, think about where you want to be, and think about how important that is to get there. Okay, and then we're going to work out where you are, where you want to be, and what steps we need to take along the way. So important to bear in mind the 3 S's. Can you remember what the 3 S's are? Do you remember? So think about that for a second. What are the 3 S's? Remember, we need to have the right state. Remember that one? On top of that, we need to have the right story. And on top of that, we then need to have the right strategy, okay, to implement our goals. Okay, so these things are important to bear in mind. So what does that mean? State, what kind of state do I need to be in? Do you remember what story is? What's your compelling story? And what strategy you're going to implement so that you can achieve your goal? Remember what I've said before, goals are pointless unless there's something that really matters to you. So they've got to be musts in your lives, not would likes, not, oh, you know, it'd be nice if I got this, it'd be nice if I earned that, it'd be nice if I made this amount of sales, I'd feel good if this happened. That's not enough. This has to be stuff that matters more to you than anything itself in terms of its level of importance. It's a must. It's non-negotiable. Hi, Ian. I think you're over in Brazil, are you, mate? How nice to see you. Najib, how you doing? Michelle, how are you from Illinois? Nice to see you, hun. Okay, can I have something higher to put this on? I need a little bit higher. Have you got something a bit higher for me? Alam, how are you, Alam? Nice to see you doing well. Alam is one of my students. Alam, you've done a fantastic job so far, hun. So well done indeed for the efforts you've made so far. And you've made some real progress and it's great to see. So keep up the good work. Who else have we got? Steve Watt, how you doing? Hi John, how you doing? Karen's on. Mark Richards, good evening Mark. How are you in Ras Al Khaimah today? Misha, hi Misha, how you doing? James Spencer's on. Hiya. Danielle Cantipew. Hiya Danielle. How are you doing, my dear? Nice to see you this evening. So guys, come and join me. Okay, Tasneem's on as well. Loads of you. Okay, please do me a favor. Press the share button. Just let other people see what I give you. They might like it, they might love it, and you know what? They might be nonplussed, but there's nothing to lose from sharing this type of free information that can help you be successful. Right, step by step. So remember what I've said before. All right, let's get this right. Okay, you've all got your notepads. So just let me know you've got your notepads and you're ready to go. Okay, I want to know that you concentrate and I want to know that you're paying attention. There's a bunch of you out there that haven't come and said hello yet. Do me a favor, come and say hi. I'd really like it if you came to say hi. Throw your questions at me. I'll do everything I can to answer every question that you've got in your mind. No matter what you're thinking, no matter how complex it might be, no matter how frustrated you might be, how far away from achieving what you think you deserve you might be, throw those questions at me. I will answer them for you. You have my word tonight. I have a whole bunch of questions emailed across to me here as well. Sorry, and I'll answer those questions as well. So those people that have emailed me, I'll get that across. But genuinely, I want your questions and I want to know where you are. Okay, I promise you, this is going to be really worth it. Okay, so come and say hi. All right, come and say hello. Right, don't join them now. Right, we'll go. Okay, so a success plan. Remember what I said about the 3 S's. I keep talking about these 3 S's and it's not going to go away. All right, really is not going to go away. We've got to get our state right, our story right, our strategy right so that we can achieve our goal. But I'll come back to that in a while. Okay, first thing, okay, you have to think about you. You have to think about a plan and what your plan is to you. Don't think about anybody else. Don't even give it a second thought about anybody else, because this is something that you are going to action. It's something that you are going to deliver. So maybe you're a salesperson working for a company, maybe self-employed or employed. Maybe you're a sales manager, a sales director, a managing director. Maybe you're a CEO of a company. Maybe you're a business person out there that is in charge of running a business that doesn't actually think that they're a salesperson. Regardless of all of those things that you well may be, the plan has to revolve around what you want to achieve, because if it matters to you, it's going to be something that you implement with ferocity and commitment and dedication in ways that trying to implement other people's plans and other people's ideas or what's good for other people doesn't really work. It's got to come from internalizing yourself and working from there. So develop your right plan. Okay, I've made a load of notes here that I want to make sure I share with you. Okay, so are your plans, okay, detail oriented? Oriented? Orientated? Orientated or oriented? Orientated? What is it? Orientated? Orientate. Give me the answer. There you go. First question of the day. Can Spencer work out the word? Just got off a plane. Maybe it's that. Okay, so are we focused on the details? And especially in creating a plan for yourself, you have to be focused on very fine details. It's one of the areas that people really get wrong, because they kind of generalize with what they want to achieve. They don't look into the details of everything. I'm going to go into more detail with this. I'm going to go into more detail with this. Okay, but it's important to do. Come and say hi, guys. Jackaloo, how are you? Elena, how are you? Nice to see you. Lizzie, how are you as well? Come say hi and introduce yourself. Right. So developing the right plan has got to be developed as a plan for you. Okay. Then what you've got to work out is, okay, how much time, okay, you, not others, but you, okay, are going to spend on it. Now, you're thinking, why is he saying that? Well, the reality of the situation is, you can't in the next 20 minutes go and create this plan. This takes a lot of thought, a lot of research, a lot of hard work, okay, to make sure your success plan is absolutely bang on the money and spot on for you. So it's really important that you put time aside to do this. Now, I have an issue with concentration. Concentrating on one thing for a whole day, for me, is difficult. If I've got 10 things to focus on, I can get through 10 small bits of 10 things every day. But to have one thing to focus on the whole day, I lose my concentration, I lose my train of thought. 2 or 3 hours, fine, but any more than that, I need to take a break and go on to other things. So for me, developing a plan for myself, I need to put aside some time every day. And I would probably put aside every day 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours every day for a period of approximately 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how long it's going to take me to put that together. Now, some of you are thinking, I don't need that much time. Well, if you don't, then you're not being thorough enough with what you need to know so that you can get what you want out of what you are trying to achieve. Hear the word you have got to make sure that you're clear on this. Hopefully that makes sense. Come and say hi, guys. Loads of you out there. Please share. Ooh, send me some love hearts if you like what I'm doing. Okay, so how much time are you going to spend, on creating your plan? So you're going to go into detail. Let me give you an example. Let's say you were going to do some market research on your plan. Well, I would take 2 circles like this, and I would do some research, and I would do some research that I call on and off research. So what's my on and off research? Well, I would research online, what I was trying to achieve. I'd research online, maybe the business, the industry, what I was trying to focus on. Is there a customer? Is there a market? Is there a market, or a customer for what I'm trying to put together, online? If there is, great, I want to know if there is. Do people out there, like, my idea? If people like my idea, then that's a good thing. Then I go offline. So that's where you come away from asking people online in forums and in your Facebook groups and LinkedIn and stuff like that, Instagram. You stop asking people online and you come away to ask people offline. So you invariably will find out a lot more if you come offline and you ask people questions, because conversations develop much more fluidly when you actually sat there offline as opposed to when you're online. So what does that mean? Does that mean you walk up and down the high street with a sandwich board on your front and back with your business idea written across the front of it? Well, if you're mad as a box of frogs, then go for it if that's what you want to do. But if not, maybe you could get counsel from family, friends, colleagues, employees, and ask people questions. Sit down with a notepad and just ask people questions about what they think about your idea, what they think about your concept, what they think. Do they think that there's a product, that the product that you've got, or the service that you've got, or the offering that you potentially have, there's a market for that? Find out what you learn here, if there is, offline and offline for your business. So there's some research. Time goes into that, doesn't it? And what you've got to find across here is this is your sweet spot. And if that's your sweet spot, what you've got to find out, first of all, is there a market on or offline? Do people like your product? If you do, and by finding that sweet spot in the middle, you'll know, what kind of categories you've got here. So you take your pros and your cons here, your pros and your cons there, you add them into here, and you'll learn. And that's the basics of a lot of research that I do. Now, obviously, I go into way more detail than that, but just imagine doing online and offline research for your product or service and the products and the service that you offer. Just think about how much time that would take. Doing online research might take 2 or 3 evenings sat there between 7 and 10 p.m. on your laptop talking to people online. Offline research might take a morning and an afternoon over 2 weekends or 3 weekends to find out that type of information. It might take various cups of chai latte, or soya milk or skinny lattes or whatever it is everyone's drinking nowadays. It might take time to have those cups of teas and coffees with people to learn the answers to those types of questions. And for me, that kind of research is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. So this is a small example. That is about a 10-page document on its own. So how much time are you going to spend with, or investing in doing the research towards your detailed success plan? Next thing what you need to do, is you need to keep detailed notes. Now, when I say detailed notes, I mean detailed notes. Come and say, hi, Rob, how you doing? Jack, how are you? Scott, how are you? Loads of guys out there. Mandy, how you doing? So what I want you to do is to keep detailed notes. So many times have I seen people, even at my seminars, they'll come to a 2-day workshop and spend 2 days with me, and they'll be raving about how great the content is, how valuable it is to them, and how it's going to make such a massive difference to their business. And guess what? All those notes they've made on that notepad in that 2-day event, they've left on the desk and gone home without it. That to me is just bonkers. Get yourself a proper notepad with ring binder down the side, and write notes. Date the top of the page that you're working on and write detailed notes about everything. Keep a journal of what you're doing, That journal will enable you to understand how far you're progressing, and keeping that journal is really critical. It's going to keep you inspired and motivated to know the progress that you're making. And by doing so, it's going to fill you with more confidence and more belief. And my gosh, my golly, is that important, So Don't just trust your memory. You know, you're not going to remember everything. I'll give you an example. I went on in 1999, I went on a seminar with Tony Robbins. It was 4 days and it was mind-blowing and it was amazing. I know those 4 days worth of seminar, okay, that I didn't remember everything on that seminar, but my gosh, every moment of that seminar was just powerful to me, really powerful stuff. Well, what I then had, okay, were 6 CDs, and those 6 CDs I had in my car, and those CDs were of the seminar, and I kept listening to those CDs over and over again, and guess what? All of it started to sink in. It started to go into my subconscious, and it started to be remembered without me even thinking about it, and that was really powerful because those tools were so useful in there. So you're going to learn stuff. Go and have a conversation with someone, make some notes. You know, I've got an assistant called Lizzie that comes out with me on my corporate meetings, and for my students, you'll know that you've met Lizzie, okay? And Lizzie sits there and takes notes of every single thing that is said during the course of that meeting. And she takes those notes so that we can go over them again after the meeting, we can refer back to them. If I'm holding students or companies accountable for certain actions, then we can remember those. Those notes after the meeting are shared with that corporation or shared with that particular student, and they have got then detailed information. The more you keep of this kind of stuff, the better, and then the more you refer back. Remember, imagine, I don't know, when you're a kid at school just taking your lessons, let's take history. You sit in the history class and your history teacher's amazing, and you learn all about different times in history and what happened and wars here and wars there, and in every class you just, wow, I can't believe that happened. Well, come to take the exam. If you haven't taken any notes and you've got nothing to revise, how are you going to remember all that stuff for your O-levels, your A-levels, or whatever exam that is that you're taking? You're not, are you? So it's important to keep those notes, okay? Does everyone agree with me? Okay, hi Ken, how you doing? Barry, how you doing? Come on guys, say hello, you're out there, I want to know. Okay, if this is valuable to you, give me a thumbs up, let me know. If it's valuable to you and you like it, give me a thumbs up. Okay, number 4, what you need to do with your detailed notes, when you're doing your research and when you're thinking about what you're doing, you need to take time to reflect. Now, why do I say we need to take time to reflect? It's really important that we don't get kind of like wrapped up and washed away in the whole excitement of doing something. We have to know that our business objective is something that can be achieved. We've got to know that our business is a goer, and sometimes we get so excited. I meet so many people that get so wrapped up in the excitement of it that they forget to take time to sit down and reflect. It's really important when you reflect that you think about, okay, your pros, okay, your cons. It's really important that you take time to understand that in detail, and if you don't, you're going to be missing something, because we can get so excited about all the good, okay? Oh, this can happen, that can happen, I can make this much money, I can help this many people, I can do this much product, I can offer this much service, I can do this, I can do that, and it's all that, whoa, it's going to be great, going to be great. But you're not sitting there yourself saying to yourself, well, what if this doesn't happen, or what if that doesn't happen, or what if this goes wrong or that goes wrong, or is this really something that I want to commit to? A good way of reflecting is to think about, okay, the journey of an entrepreneur. Okay, being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. Lots of people think, hi Marta, how are you? Mandy, how you doing? There's lots of people out there that think being an entrepreneur means you can work the hours you want to work and have a lifestyle that suits you. Well, you can't. Because it doesn't work like that. If you want to build a business, something has to give. You can't have, 40 hours of family time and 40 hours of work time when you're starting to build a business. You can't have a work-life balance if you're starting to build a business. You've got to understand that something has got to give. And if you see anybody that is a successful entrepreneur, they might have got themselves to a place where they now can give themselves more time to enjoy other things. But the reality is they've had to work extremely hard, many hours over many days, many weeks, many months, and many years to get where they've got. For a lot of people, it's like a 7-year journey, of not taking vacation, working through the weekend, a 7-year journey of being there till 11, 12 o'clock at night, grinding through the work that you need to do, okay? And if you're not up for that and you think you've got some shortcut to success, some shortcut to making $1 million or whatever it is the number is that you want to attach to things, then you've got to remember that might not be right. Well, in fact, I know it isn't. Something has to give. And every successful entrepreneur will tell you that. So don't think if you're going to come into it, create a success plan, going to get focused, going to get motivated, going to get excited, write this plan, details, make sure you've done your research, only for you then to find that the amount of hours and effort and energy goes into it is more than you can handle. The last thing you will want is to be in a position where it's more than you can handle. Does that make sense? Okay, so take time to reflect. It's really important to do so. Maybe a good time to do it is if you're allocating 2 or 3 hours a week, maybe get to the end of the week and reflect on your journal, reflect on the notes, reflect on the research that you've done, and take a long, hard look. And another way that you can do that in a really positive way is to enlist the support of somebody. So get someone that you know that is a supportive, an encouraging type of person that will sit and listen to you, that you can brainstorm with. You know, if there's no one in your family, find a mentor, okay? If you can find a mentor, get yourself a coach, someone that can literally, not necessarily play devil's advocate, but can be there to ask you the hard questions about yourself and your psychology and your well-being, because it's important that you understand that you're going to sacrifice maybe some of your well-being on the journey, you know? There's just too many people out there that have gone through this, that know the slog involved, and sometimes finding someone that can mentor or coach you, or just be that sounding board as you reflect. To say, yeah, I'm excited about this, but what do you think? And maybe they can throw questions at you that you wouldn't in your confident, I'm going to make it work mentality, okay, might not answer yourself, you know, honestly or the right way. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, hi guys, come and join us. Something has to give. That's right, Mark. Okay, so guys, please like and share, share. Let other people see this, please. Okay, I give it to you for free. Please, for me in return, share away and let other people see this. Okay, so now we've taken time to reflect. Okay, it's important, really important, that we understand. Whoa, what's going on here? That we understand.
There's another one.
There's another one under there. Okay, hold on a minute, guys. Oh, 1 second. We've got some. Okay, let's get rid of that. Right, so it's important that we start once we've taken our time to research properly. We've had a long, hard think about what we want to do. We've done our market research, so we're very clear on our product, our service, how it's going to go to market, how we're going to serve our customers, our clientele, how we're going to add value, how we're going to make a difference. We know that it matters to us, so it's ours. We were really, really passionate about it. Once we've done those things, we've taken time to reflect. So we've looked at the pros and the cons. Okay, we go back to our journal and we keep repeating this over and over again. Once we've got to that point and we're very confident that statistically, numerically, economically, fiscally, whichever term you want to use, emotionally, psychologically, practically, all of this really can work, that we need then to establish some form of objective. And that objective would be, for me, okay, your goals. So be very clear on what you want your outcome to be. So let's assume we're going into business that we've determined there's a market for, there's people that would like it, you're prepared to put the effort in, the hours, the slog, the heart rate, all that kind of stuff, that goes in. You've reflected and you keep your journal, and in your journal it's saying over and over again that stuff that you need to learn, okay? Then and only then, we need to be in a place where we say, where do we want to go with this? Pen's not great. Okay, so where do we want to go with this? Okay, where? Okay, what's our timeline? Let's work out what that's going to be. Is our timeline, we've got to put a date on it. Why have we got to put a date on it? So critical if we're establishing a goal that we know what the date is for that goal that we're going to achieve. And every business needs to have that. Now, as you're working through that, that may slightly change, but it's better to start with a goal in the initial stages, okay, and be clear on what we want to achieve, okay, and what date we want to achieve it. Okay, we've got to be clear, okay, on why that's going to happen. Okay, we've got to be clear on how, okay, we are going to make it work. Now, I say to a lot of people when it comes to goal planning, really important that you take your goal and you break it down into bite-sized chunks and you focus on that first bite-sized chunk of achieving your goal. Why? Because it's so important to give yourself confidence and belief that, guess what? Actually, you were right. It does work. Oh, you can make money. Oh, you can serve people. You can add value. You can make a difference. Well, when you get the success and the confidence, then is that going to be a springboard on to the next thing, or the opposite? Well, we know it's going to be a springboard. If you can't measure it until this date here, which is 1 or 2 years away, you're going to have a problem, because you might get a bit down in the dumps. You might get a bit deflated. You might get a bit negged out. You might lose your motivation and your enthusiasm. But if you know, in the first 30 days, I've established what I wanted to establish. I can do this. And then we establish a goal for the next 3 months. And that 3 months, you get to the end of that 3 months and you're giving yourself further proof and evidence that you can, and it will work, and it's going to work. And do you know what? It's going to be so electric in your mind, and you're going to be so excited about it that nothing's going to stop you then. Because you're just giving yourself positive reinforcement, not by other people telling you, but by actual results. And when you get positive reinforcement by actual results, it's like knowing that you made something work. And when you know you made something work, it just fills you here. But that's why this has got to be something that is around what matters. Sorry about this. Let's get it. What matters, to you. Because the more that it matters to you, the better it's going to be. The more that you are driven by what it can be and how it can deliver for you, the better it's going to be. So never, never, ever underestimate that. Darren, how you doing? Hi, Ken. Nice to see you from Kuwait. How you doing? Ayobami, how are you? Nice to see you as well. Mac, good to see you. Something's got to give. Come and say hi, guys. I know there's other people out there. Tony Scullion, how you doing? Hassan, how are you? Warren, Yasser, Barry, you're all out there. Loads of guys. Thanks for joining us. Please like and share what we're doing. Okay. Once you've set your goals, then we go on to the next step. And that is breaking it down, and then breaking it down, giving yourself belief and confidence. But the action word is really critical. We need to take action, and we need to take the action on a consistent basis. There's no, salespeople or business people, they have good months and they have bad months. And they go, oh, it's seasonal. Oh, the market's changed. Oh, everyone was on holiday. Or they just bullshit excuses, basically, that people sell themselves as to why they have a bad month. You have a bad month because you're not consistently taking action. You have a bad month because you don't think, about what's happening in your market and your industry during different periods in the year. Now, is it fair to say that people celebrate Christmas at Christmas and some people take a week off? Yeah, but if you factor that in at the beginning of the year, you'll know that that won't become a problem for you at the end of the year. If you start thinking about it towards Christmas yourself and start getting lazy and start switching off yourself, then guess what? The chances are you're going to have bad periods in your business. So it's important that you are taking action consistently every day, the right amount of action that's required to achieve your objective. And if you don't know what that is, that comes back to doing your research and making sure you understand what's required to get where you've got to get. So don't underestimate it. If you're a salesperson and you take 2 weeks off and go on vacation, when you come back after vacation for 2 weeks, guess what? That business book slowed down if you've done nothing before the vacation to plan for it. But in the 3 months leading to the vacation, if you'd worked extra this, extra that, put more time into this, put more time into that, taken more action than you, it's almost like the action for the 2 weeks that you weren't there, you stacked into the time before you went on vacation, you'd find that you'd have a really rip-roaring pickup from the time you got back from vacation. But so many people don't do that. They go into this kind of wind down mode. Well, again, this is your business. It's only you that are going to suffer. It's you that are going to be in pain. You that are going to be flustered. You that are going to be demotivated. You that are going to be frustrated. And if that happens, how's that going to make you feel? Shit. So why do it? It makes no sense at all. There is no reason to do that. Okay. Consistent action indeed. Will, how you doing? Nice to see you, Dr. Will. Swanee, how are you? So we've got to make sure that these things happen. I'm going to go on to the next part, which is the most, for me, the most important thing that I think that you should do while you're building your business, and that for me is to get support. The problem with most of us when we start a business is let's say there's 10 things that we need, to be good at in business. You probably are really good at 2 or 3 of those different things, The 7 that you're probably poor, or rubbish at. Well, rubbish at. Those 7 things you're poor or rubbish at, invariably what you're going to do is spend a bit of time doing them, but you don't like doing them, so you're not going to do them with lots of enthusiasm. You need to get, as quick as you can, support in areas that you're weak. All right. So maybe if you've got a lot of negative self-talk and you talk yourself out of stuff, you need to get support in talking positives, learning about positive self-talk. If you're the kind of person that finds it easy to press the snooze button and stay in bed for the morning, then you need to get support to work through that. If you're the kind of person that's rubbish with numbers, rubbish with accounts payable, rubbish with accounts receivable, then guess what? All right. Either decide to be good at it, which you probably won't ever be because it's not what you want to do, or find somebody that can do it and give you that support. Because if you do, okay, it's going to make life a lot easier for you. Now, people will say to me sometimes, yeah, but I can't afford that. I haven't got the money to pay for that. Look, you can't afford not to do it. If you're good at bringing revenue in because you're good at selling the product, okay, you've got to make sure you understand the distribution channels. You've got to understand, you understand the operations of the business. You've got to understand the legal side of the business. You've got to understand the accountancy side. It just goes on and on and on. All right. When we get divorced, we don't go to the courts on our own. We go with a lawyer that we've appointed because we need professional support. We don't go to the doctors and sit down in the doctor's surgery ourselves and then go into the patient room, okay, and tell the doctor to scarper while we diagnose ourselves, do we? We go, oh, we've got a problem, Mr. Doctor. Okay, can you help me, please? And the doctor says, what's wrong? And he tries to find out what your symptoms are. You use professionals in areas every day of your life that you pay to do a job to help you. You go to the dentist if you need a filling, you got a crown, you got a veneer, I don't know. You go to the dentist to see if you've got a bad back, you'll go and see the chiropractor or the osteopath. If you put weight on, you might join a gym and spend money doing that. All these things cost you money, and you buy into the theory that I need to get a professional to help me with this and this. Well, why would you not think like that with your business? If you're happy to get a professional to be your dentist and get a professional to be a doctor, then why not get a professional to make sure, and there's lots of people out there for all kinds of budgets. Don't think everybody costs a fortune. Or why not do some form of barter deal where you offer a service and a product to a lawyer, an accountant, a bookkeeper, in return for them doing your books, for example. Now, guess what? Maybe you could do something with your social media deliverables and work out what your strategy is around that and say, you know what? I'm not very good at doing this, so I'm going to have to employ somebody. I can't afford to employ somebody. Well, maybe your product and service you could give to that person at a massive discount in return for them running your social media. Now, that barter deal that's worked with a small business, that's really something that can work for you. Salespeople that work as direct salespeople understand something. If you're a direct salesperson, invariably you've got an infrastructure around you. You've got to go and find your prospects. You've got to work out how to get those prospects to turn them into clients. You've got to work out the strategy around that. And you've got to know whether that's something that really matters to you. And if it does, how you're going to implement that. So there's a bunch of stuff there that we can talk about. And I promise you, I can spend the next hour and a half, I can spend the next day going through this in detail for you and creating a plan. If you join the university, you'll find it yourself on there. Okay, or by all means, okay, come to our masterclasses and join us there. Right, let's answer some questions that we've got. If you've got any questions for me, let me know. Kieran, how you doing? Heidi, how are you? Omar. Okay, guys, come. If you're on, come and say hello. And please, if you've got any questions around this subject, please come and join me. I'll gladly answer those questions for you. Okay, come on. Come and say hi, ask your questions. Right, here are the questions that I've got so far this week. Gareth Niles, he's from Dubai. Really nice to have got someone from Dubai. I'm a horrible procrastinator. For the past 2 years, I've been feeling especially unmotivated and unable to find success. Even when there are lots of exciting opportunities, I've been trying to get my own real estate business off the ground, but I realized the other day that I start a lot of projects that I'll never finish. What do I do? How do I develop a plan for this? Well, someone who's a horrible procrastinator. For me, you procrastinate because either, two things to procrastination. Either you don't love what you do, or you're overwhelmed by what you're trying to achieve. And because you're overwhelmed, it seems too much, and then you sell yourself on the reason as to why you can't do it, and then you don't take the action. Okay, so for those of you out there like that, let me know if you know someone like that or like that, okay? Let me know and I'll try and answer that for you, okay? Mark's got a question. Mark will answer your question in a second. So, he says, I'm trying to get my own real estate business off the ground, but I realized the other day that I start a lot of projects that I never finish. So why, you got to ask your question, what's your why? Okay, why do you want to set a real estate business up? What's important to you about that? Why? Is it just to make money? Okay, if it's just to make money, then that's not a good enough why. Lots of people go into sales just to make money and they're completely deluded and they invariably never succeed. So if you do it just to make money, then you're in the wrong business, the wrong industry. You've got to think about what your why is. You've got to think about why you want to do what you do. You've got to have something that pulls you rather than something you push. You can't just go into doing something in business because you've got to do something. 80% of the population out there are just miserable because they do jobs they don't love. 80%, that's 4 out of 5 people go to work every day trudging to work. They've sold themselves on the fact that they can't leave and they've got to stay there because they've got to pay the bills and there's nothing else out there and their chances have gone by and their time has passed. That's rubbish. You've got to find your why, and that's something that you really need to do, Gareth. Okay, Mark, how often would you advise your sales teams to review their success plan? The sales team should review their success plan with their managers, okay, once a month to review it, okay, to have a 1-hour review, and then once every 3 months, a half-day review of the plan to make sure that everyone is focused. So a 3-hour or 4-hour session, okay, as a half-day plan to go through from start to finish. But this is where lots of people get it wrong, Mark. Okay, there's one word that they miss out, okay, and that's analytics. So many companies don't use analytics and they use such basic information, and there's so many assumptions then that are built into that guess what happens? Okay, success never is achieved because all these assumptions go into it because the analytics are so incredibly weak. If you're a salesperson, you've got to know statistically, not guess. You've got to know what nationality you sell to the best. You've got to know, okay, who buys your product. You've got to know in which time of the year you have an influx of that type of marketplace. You've got to know literally in detail every question you could possibly ask. I mean, there's so many of them. My mind's going crazy. You've got every single question that you can ask around your prospect. You've got to look at what's the sales cycle for every prospect. How do you get the prospects on board? What's the journey the prospect goes on? Does everyone go on the same journey? Okay. A lot of times it said, oh yes, they do. But what happens a lot of time in sales is they look at, okay, how many prospects I've got, okay, and then how many sales I've made. And so what happens is, let's say I've got 10 prospects and I've made 5 sales. Oh, right, so you've got a 50% close rate. And that's it. But what happens to those 10 that don't buy? Why don't they buy? Have we spoken to them about the reason they don't buy? Is there a way we could have understood that in a load more detail? How many suspects did it need, okay, to turn into prospects? Okay, were there 20 suspects? And then from those 20 suspects, okay, how many people had touch points, touch in skin or touch points online, okay, before they decided to become a suspect? What is involved here in finite detail? And this is what you should go through at your quarterly plan with every one of your staff, Mark. I know you manage a team of guys over in Ras Al Khaimah. So that would be my advice. Max says, how to overcome shyness and get clients. Okay, shyness I would regard as being introverted. Some of the best salespeople in the world are introverts. Selling isn't about being an extrovert. Selling isn't about being gregarious and larger than life. I know I am. I'm on camera for you guys and I have to deliver with energy so that you don't sit there and switch off. But I'm not like this hyper enthusiastic all the time. I have my quiet times as well. And in fact, I really do enjoy my alone time too. Being shy, okay, means you lack confidence as well as being introverted. So you've got to ask yourself, why are you lacking confidence? Do you not know your product? Do you not believe in yourself? If you don't believe in yourself, then let's go and get a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a counselor to help you understand how good you are. Let's give you some positive reinforcement. You need to be around people that can encourage you to realize how good you actually are, because being shy doesn't mean you can't sell. Being shy doesn't mean you can't have an enormous success in sales. Because you know what? People are looking for that stereotypical salesperson and their guard is up. That person that doesn't look like the stereotypical salesperson, that's actually a detailed, focused, very inquisitive, very caring type of individual, is the kind of people love to buy from. So that would be my advice on that one, Mac. Hopefully that helps. Okay, who's got any questions? Right, John Biles from London. I've just started my own digital and social media business. My goal is to be a millionaire within a year, hopefully. But realistically, I have 2 retainer clients. I only have 2 retainer clients at the moment. How do I develop a financial success plan that will see me achieve my goal with the least amount of hassle? Well, you want to be a millionaire in your first year. Well, that's a nice and simple way to work that out. Okay, you've got to work out, okay, what your costs are. Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, your costs are $100,000. Okay, let's just say they're your costs. Well, to have $1 million in the bank, you've got to get your revenue less your costs. So revenue minus costs, okay, then that will equal gross profit. Now, depending on where you are, okay, we then have to take into consideration tax and then our net profit. So what's your revenue? Let's say your revenue is 2 million in year one, okay, and your costs are 100,000, okay, essentially you're 1.9 million of gross profit. Take your tax off that, maybe 1.4 million of profit. I don't know your exact business. Now, how much is a client, okay, worth to you as a profit? And remember, just because the client brings in a certain amount of revenue doesn't mean that's profit, okay? You've got all of your costs in here, your expenses, your business expenses, your office expenses, your licenses, your staffing, your vehicles, your insurances. I mean, it all goes on and on and on. You've got inventory maybe that you have. I mean, in social media, so maybe not so much inventory. But again, you've got to work out all of this detailed as a detailed financial statement as to what you've got to do mathematically to get there. When you know what you've got to do mathematically to get there, then, okay, you can create a plan about achieving it. Now, that may mean you need to take on 50 clients this year. That means you've got to find one client a week. And if you find one client a week, because on average your revenue is X from each client, then you've just got to focus on finding that one client every week. And if that's what you've got to do, guess what? Happy days. It's nice and simplified then. Find one client a week. Don't increase my costs. Stay focused on what I'm doing. But invariably, guess what? Your costs might go up if you start to increase the amount of work that you're doing for your clients, increase the amount of people that are required in the business to look after those clients. There's lots to that. It's quite a simple question, but it's a lot of detailed answer on that one. Okay, no problem at all, Mac. Hopefully that's been helpful. Steve, nice to see you on board. Okay, Megan says, I found your topic this week quite interesting. Do you get other people to look over your business and success plans after you finish with them, or is it more of a personal plan that keeps you focused on what you do? Yes, I have somebody that looks at my plans. Okay, so I've got areas where I'm weak, okay? I'm not the best organized. I'm not the best with numbers, okay? So doing the accounts and the bookkeeping, spending, costs, all that kind of stuff, I'm not the best. So I have somebody that helps me with that. I have somebody that I bounce my ideas off to make sure that I'm not mad as a box of frogs, okay? And I'm doing something sensible that also is ambitious, that satisfies me. So yes, absolutely I do. And whether you're developing a business success plan or a personal success plan, the rules should be the same, okay? So hopefully that's answered that question, Megan. Okay, hi Spencer, looking tan. I am tanned. I came back from holiday with my kids. Golden brown. It'll last about 3 days and I'll be white as a ghost again, so don't worry. In Dubai, we can't go out in the sun. Let's go on to Karen from Joburg. I've been suffering from a lack of motivation. I used to love my job and it brought me tons of satisfaction and money, but recently I don't even want to get up in the mornings. A colleague said that I need to write all of my goals down and that it will remind me of what I'm passionate about. Is this true? And is it true that it will motivate me to follow my plan of attack on a daily basis? Writing your goals down is not enough. You've got to understand your why. What is your why? Why do you behave the way you do? What is it you want out of life? Remember that most people that went out to decide to achieve something went out and got it. They faced challenges and things went wrong and they got rejection and they answered lots of no's, okay? And they got kicked a bit, but guess what? They were determined and they persevered and they were resilient and they kept going. It looks to me here, Karen, that you're not as resilient as you need to be, and that's a problem, okay? It's something I can help with coaching, but a colleague said write all of your goals down. To me, if you've got lots of goals, it just creates an absolute nightmare. You can't focus on lots of goals. You have to focus on, in my opinion, one goal at a time. And by focusing on one goal at a time, you can then give it your total commitment, dedication, and focus and make that goal happen. And you will if you give it your energy, your heart, your soul. So, you'll see me in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to weigh myself after my holiday. I'm going to weigh myself and I'm going to go for 3 months and I'm going to lose 7 kg. And I'm going to take you on that journey with me. So I know what I want to achieve with my weight loss, okay? I'm prepared to bare my soul for you guys so that you can have a good laugh at my chubby chubster hips, okay? And see the weight that I've put on over the summer. And then I'm going to go for it and I'm going to document that for you. Why? Number one, okay, because I want to show you that you can do something if you set your mind to it. Number two, because I want you to understand that when I do that and share that with you, I know that you're almost judging me. And by judging me as I go through it, if I've done well and had a good week or a good month, you'll be praising me. And if I've done badly, you might be sniggering at me. I need that to help me stay motivated. You know, the thought of ridicule for me, okay, keeps me motivated. You know, I'm not the guy that gets motivated from someone high-fiving me. I'm the opposite. I'm the one that gets motivated by someone telling me it can't be done, or someone telling me you can't do it, or someone laughing at it because it didn't happen. I'm the guy that gets fired up by that, so that's why I need to do that, and that's why I'll do that with you when I get the weigh in a week or two's time. So that would be my answer, Karen. Hopefully that's helped that. If not, direct message me and I'll gladly, you know, based upon your question, it's sad. So if you direct message me, I'll give you a call and I'll work through this with you over the telephone and just have 30 minutes with you to see if I can just put some stuff in your mind and help you get into a better place. Okay, anybody else got questions? Monte Cristo's on, Evangela is on, Kieran. I'll join you on that challenge, Spencer. Kieran says, you're going to come on a weight loss challenge with me. Okay, great. If anybody wants to do that, okay, yeah, Dr. Will, come on, by all means, mate. Please, guys, please, ask me any question that you want. I'm here for you right now. Right. Hakim Hadash in Dubai. Another person from Dubai. Hooray! Don't get so many people from Dubai. It's usually all over the world people are asking. How exactly do you measure a success plan and how specific should you get with this? Well, hopefully, Hakim, I've gone through that with you this evening in some basic terms, but you must be very specific. It must be very detail focused. There's no point it being generic because generic just doesn't solve the problem. You might work out how to make loads of revenue and loads of sales, but if you're not detailed on how you keep your costs focused, then you won't do it. If you're not focused on how you keep your motivation, if you're not focused on how you keep yourself organized, you know, I know a friend of mine that built a business and their biggest problem was the supply chain, but they hadn't thought about that. All they thought is, oh, you know, China, they'll make these things for us, no problem at all. When we order them, we'll get them. But they were getting more orders in than they could supply, and that started to cause them a massive cash flow, but it hadn't been factored into their thoughts at all. You know, got loads of people buying our product, just got to order another container load of the product from from China, and guess what? Happy days. But guess China were like, oh no, we can't deliver it for the next 3 months, and this is the lead time, and they were like, no, but our clients need it. Their reputation took a battering because their clients were paying and they weren't getting their product. So all these things have to be taken care of. And it's like, keep it simple. Think about a diet. I can't just go to the gym and run. Now, that's cardio and it's going to burn calories, but I can't just do that. Okay, I've got to take a long, hard look at what I consume and how I consume it. I've got to keep a food diary of everything I consume all day, every day. I've got to look at the times of day I eat the food. I've got to look at the calorific intake, the fat. You know, there's so many different things that I've got to look at to make sure I can maximize reducing my body fat percentage and lose the weight. It can't be done just by me going to the gym and running for an hour and saying, do you know what, I want to lose more weight, so I'm going to run for an hour and 10 minutes every day. It's not the answer. Yes, it's part of it, but it's not. Now also, I might need to work out in a different way to the way I am working out. I might need to do circuits or weights, or rather than running, I might need to stop riding my bike and start doing other things. I might need to take up boxing, or I don't know, who knows, yoga, Pilates, I don't know. It might be, Spence, you've got to swim 50 lengths a day and that's the answer. I don't know, but you know what? When I do know, I'll execute it precisely. And I'll keep focused on it. And if I don't, I've only got myself to blame. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, no cakes. Yes, and Nima, don't you dare buy me any more cakes because you're bad. Okay, Nima from Hunt and Harris, guys, if you want real estate, really wonderful guys over there in Ras Al Khaimah. Nima, Hunt and Harris, Mark's on here as well. He'll tell you as well. He's out there selling the real estate with Hunt and Harris and running a great team. So look out for Hunt and Harris. Okay, Mark says, I often feel like individuals in our team are unclear on what they want to achieve with their lives. I believe that's how people get focused on short-term goals, by understanding the bigger picture. So how would you guide them to understand their bigger personal goals? Okay, understanding bigger personal goals. I think a lot of time employers focus on what they want to get out of the individual working for the company. They focus on what they want them to achieve. And remember, a lot of the time people are in sales. They shouldn't be in sales. They're the wrong people to be in sales because they're in your business, for example, they may not be motivated by the things that you want them to be motivated by. I know people that work for half the money that are more motivated, that could get twice as much money somewhere else doing something else, because their fulfillment doesn't come from earning money. Their fulfillment comes from other things. If you really try and understand what other people's objectives are, what other people's ambitions and dreams are, maybe they're not aligned with yours as a business. And guess what? Maybe that means you can't work together. Or maybe that means you could find a way of aligning yourself with theirs. But my belief is, if you help people focus on what they want and you help them achieve what they want to achieve, regardless of what it is, then by doing so, you will always get goals achieved. But by getting that kind of pulling in opposite directions, what do you want to achieve? I don't know. Well, as a sales leader, a sales director, a sales manager, you're thinking, yeah, but I need to get that person to do X amount of business. If that doesn't stimulate them or motivate them, then that's a job of a manager and a leader to learn better as to how to find out what their why is. Hopefully that helps, Mark. Right, okay, what other questions we've got here? Hussein Huta from Qatar. What's your success plan when it comes to sales? I'm a car salesman that earns 20% commission from the total profit of each car sold. How do I go about tracking statistics so that I can know how many car sales it will take me to reach in $1 million in profits of my own? Well, again, I think that's similar to the other question that we had. If you don't keep detailed statistics, there are gazillions of different platforms out there, free pieces of software or low-cost pieces of software you use, that if you just were to input into the boxes on the software the information that's required, it would calculate for you exactly what you would need to do. Look, if you do it on a notepad, it's not that difficult. If you sell a car, I don't know, for 100,000 dirhams, okay, and the profit in that car is 10,000 dirhams, and you get 20% of it, which is 2,000 dirhams. In order for you to get $1 million, it's a simple number to multiply, isn't it? So multiplying that by 10 is going to give you 20,000. Multiplying it by 100, okay, is going to give you 200,000. It's not a difficult thing to work out, is it? You've got to work out how many sales you can make based upon, and that's just a numerical exercise. It by no means represents you, for example, okay, Hussein, but work the numbers out. But use software, because software can do all of this for you. There's crap software out there. There's brilliant software out there. I'm sure there's software that's specifically designed for car sales out there. And if not, there's big CRM systems, whether you want to use Salesforce, which is a big CRM system, or one of the other megas out there that offer really fantastic stuff. But it's really important that we keep clinical, analytical data of everything that's being done so that we can measure everything, so that if we want to become, as Hussein does, a car salesperson who earns $1 million, then we know exactly how to do it, what it's going to require, okay, and whether we can fit that all into one day or whether we have to extend that goal to a longer period of time. And it shouldn't be too difficult. Ken says, Neen asked if mutual funds really work in saving money. Absolutely they do. Yeah, mutual funds work. Of course they do. There's tracker funds, different types of mutual funds. You'll find that everything works better invariably than leaving the money in the bank. The bank are really the biggest con artists that live on this planet. This is how a bank works. All right. This bank here, lovely bank, wonderful place, okay? You put your money in the bank and the bank says, we will pay you 1% per annum interest on your money. Well, what your bank do is they take your money and they run down there to their other business, their investment bank, okay, and they leverage that money. So let's say you've got $100 in there. They go and take that money down there and they borrow against that. So they'll borrow $700, okay, against your $100. They'll invest $800 of that money, okay, into what they want to invest it in, make a massive return on it, and for the freedom of giving you total access to your money any times, they pay you a below inflation number as the interest that you get on your money. Now, if inflation's running at 3% and you're getting 1% in the bank, the value of your money is going down by 2% per year. So I would never leave my money in a bank account. That's nuts. There are different asset classes. I'm digressing a little bit here, but there's 5 asset classes you can go into. Those 5 asset classes include real estate, they include equities, they include forex, currency, commodities, okay, and bonds or lending. So they're 5 asset classes. These asset classes perform differently at different times. You can get your money into mutual funds in these different asset classes. You can track markets in Forex, in real estate. You can invest in physical real estate. You can invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts. There are much better ways to invest your money than leaving it in the bank. So that's my opinion, okay, and hopefully that has answered that for you. Okay, guys, I've gone through the questions. Anybody got a question for me? Let me know if you've got a question. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you've shared it with everybody, because I'd like everybody to see this. Stephen Shilstone, so I got a question from him. I'm now looking after my company's social media account. There's so much out there to be done and actioned. Where, in your opinion, do I start? Stephen, I love social media. Every single one of my clients comes to me because I'm busy producing content. Now, Steve, I don't give a shit if people love me or hate me, okay? I really don't. I would obviously care that they love me and agree with what I think about, but I don't care, because people that care about that too much, not love or hate, people that hate me, okay, people that care about that too much end up producing vanilla content that nobody's interested in, okay, and that vanilla content, the time, effort and energy that's gone into producing that, has just essentially become a waste of time. My real firm belief is that if you're going to build social media, you've got to start with a content strategy, and you've got to be willing to bare yourself and engage with people as a human being through video, because video is the cheapest, easiest thing to produce. I need a laptop, okay, I've got a camera crew and all that kind of stuff here right now, but when I was in the UK a couple of weeks ago, without Amma, the camera guy, without Lizzie, I had my laptop, I had Facebook Live, I clicked link on Facebook Live, and I produced a live video. That live video lasted 30 minutes. That then could be replayed and rewatched by as many people as possible. You can produce content, I can't even see my phone right now, you can produce content on your phone, left, right and Chelsea very easily. Start creating content, and this is what I will tell you to do. Start creating content by giving people education. I see far too many people out there trying to sell shit when they don't have a very big audience and they're not respected. If you start selling people shit when they don't trust you, people won't buy it. So you're delusional if you think they're going, oh, this property this car this. It's nuts. If people don't know you and they don't trust you, they don't want to buy jack shit off you if you're a random stranger. So get focused on education. Give people value. 18 months of me producing video content where I added value, I asked nothing of anybody, led people to believe that they could trust me. When people trust you, then they'll reach out to you. They'll know that you're that person in that industry that can add value and help them. Now, can you help everyone all the time? No. But guess what? Educating people sees people doing that. So teach people what you do. You're in real estate, I think, Stephen. So teach people about real estate. Teach people about how you buy as opposed to get a mortgage as opposed to buying cash. How renting works for you and how it doesn't work for you. Talk about commercial real estate investment. Talk about car park investment, green belt, brown belt investment. Talk about investment in real estate in different parts of the world and how different people invest. How do Chinese people think about investment in real estate vis-a-vis British people, for example? How do South Africans go about it vis-a-vis Indians? I don't know. Give people education, give them knowledge, give them an understanding. Don't just try and push out there, I'm going to sell you this product and that. There's too many people out there doing it, and you know what? They'll get nowhere because they're not getting the point. Teach people stuff. I've got a room here. I've got a backdrop, a flip chart, a desk, my laptop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights, okay, a camera on a tripod there, bit of soundproofing with some carpet and some acoustic tiles around the place. It really isn't that difficult if you want to create a small space. If you follow a podcast called The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett, if you get that and you download that and listen to that every week, it's brilliant, by the way. Okay. He does that, all that recording he does in a soundproof box in a cupboard under his stairs. And literally he's put acoustic tiles and carpets in a cupboard under his stairs, a microphone, and he does it with his headphones, his podcast, once a week, and he goes and sits in there. You can, if you want to, produce all kinds of great stuff. It doesn't take an enormous amount of expense, and the value that you've got, the stuff that you know is gold. You just don't know it's gold. Other people want to learn it. So share it with them. And then they'll learn to trust you. When they learn to trust you, okay, they'll think about you when it comes to buying things. There's too many examples of that happening, so hopefully that's answered that for you. Okay, that's answers. Education takes too much time before they buy from me. Misha, I'm really sorry. It's taken 18 months of me educating people before they've decided to approach me. But you know what? I'm inundated with offers now in such a way that I have to refuse business. There are so many people that come to me that ask me for help and support. I just don't have the hours in the day to do so. Now, it's taken me some time, yes. And you might say to yourself, yeah, but what about, the fact that I need to earn some money? And you're right, you do need to. So why don't you stay doing the job that you're doing and earn some money doing it? And then every night produce a video. Every night produce content. Every night create content for followers. Write blog posts, twice a week. Post on LinkedIn every week. Sarah Almadani, one of my real dear friends, has got 200,000 followers on LinkedIn. I said, how long did it take you to get 200,000 followers? She said 6 months. I just wrote 3 or 4 articles a week from my heart, and people started to connect with them and they went crazy for them, and that number just rocketed from about 1,000 to 200,000 in 6 months. No buying of likes, no buying of followers, any of that crap. She's done that. If you add something that's valuable and it touches people and people can engage with it, okay, you share that out there on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, okay, and any forums you can, okay, you're going to get people wanting to understand what you do in more detail. I can promise you that. Okay, guys, hopefully that's been valuable to you, and I've answered some great questions for you. How long have we been going, Emma?
Too long.
How long have we been going?
1 hour.
No, 1 hour! Right, I'm going to get out of here quickly. I've just got back from my travels. Lovely to talk to you all. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for engaging. Whatever you do, get out there and do what I say you do. Please make it happen. I'll see you soon.